With the recent living legend of Viserai and not too far behind Mystic Heroes Zen and Nu, I started asking myself, are we ever going to see these heroes again? Almost 2 years ago now, Dusk Till Dawn was released, giving us a new retrain of Prism and a chain, I guess you could say. But neither of these heroes feel like anything of what they were in the past. The new Prism sets up angels, and Vincent doesn't feel anywhere close to how Chain felt. I won't be the first person to tell you how oppressive Chain was, but I at least miss versing the deck. I miss the plays that we had to do to beat this deck, and I would love to see how he performs in today's meta. I know Living Legend is necessary for a game like Flesh and Blood without a rotation system, but why can't we just have more heroes? Let's just go through the Living Legend currently. So we have Bravo, star of the show, who was a 3 elemental hero. Briar, which we now have 2 copies of Briar, I guess. Chain, which Vincent kind of replaced. Dromai, which has no replacement. Icelander, who has no replacement. Lexi, who has no replacement. Oldham, I guess you could say Jarl is a replacement, but he doesn't play anything like him. Prism and Viserai. I really like the Living Legend system, but I like it for the exact reason why Legend Story Studios stated. It's not there to balance the meta, it's there for heroes to rotate. Every card that is unique to that hero, being the class and the talent, rotates as well. So what is going to happen to these Mystic heroes that are quite literally on the brink of rotation? An entire set, an entire class of cards just wiped from being able to be played at a classic constructed competitive level. With the new set High Seas coming out, of course I'm extremely happy that we're getting a new class and technically another new class Pirate. I just keep wondering, how long is it going to be until we can use these cards that we invested in really early on, until we can start using them again? If your immediate reaction is just to tell me to start playing the Living Legend format, I understand, but it's also affecting worldwide. Just see this clip right here of James White explaining why Flesh and Blood needs to be changed overseas in Japan.
And with the release of High Seas on June the 6th, I'm really excited to share with you some significant changes to the configuration and price point of the Japanese version of Flesh and Blood to welcome the new players to join the community.
As the very first Flesh and Blood content creator, wait, let me check, am I actually the first content creator? Hey ChatGPT, who was the very first content creator for Flesh and Blood?
The very first content creator for Flesh and Blood TCG was probably someone who was early to the game and passionate about sharing their experiences. Since you mentioned you started in September 2019, you might have been one of the earliest or among the first to create content for it. Do you remember when you first got into it?
Yeah, shut up, alright, thank you, it was me. So hearing this from James White is actually really troubling to me. And the reason why is, how are these outside communities able to keep up with places like America, Australia, New Zealand, that all got this product extremely early? So I'll go back to the question, what is going to happen to these heroes? Are they just going to mosey on out these heroes and classes? Are they doing this on purpose? So when these heroes rotate, they don't ever have to reprint these cards again. These are theories, of course. I genuinely don't think Flesh and Blood will do this, or Legend Story Studios will do this. But some transparency, or at least some reprint sets, might help. It's not about, you know, I'd care about the stock of my cards. I like playing the game, and I want to keep playing these old heroes. Not even the heroes, just the decks themselves. Like, I want to be able to summon, like, dragons again. I want to be able to, like, slow down decks with Icelander and all that. And it's just hard to envision the future for Flesh and Blood. I think what Legend Story Studios did with Bright Lights is actually the most ingenious thing they've ever done yet. And it's giving us a ton of heroes from the exact same class. Exact same class. Some of them being really good and some of them being, you know, not very great. I know this set flopped, but it's not about that. It's just the fact that I know that at least Mechanologist is going to be around for a very long time. And all these heroes, at least if one rotates, I can go to the next one. So what's the answer? Give us more heroes and reprint Majestics that are needed for classes. I think what I'm asking for actually isn't a lot. A lot of card games out there, like Yu-Gi-Oh! And let's say Dragon Ball Super, they reprint all their cards all the time. And it doesn't affect the meta. People always buy the new sets. They always buy the new sets. Reprinting these cards doesn't actually hurt anyone. It hurts people who have invested into a card game. A card game. It doesn't hurt them, and if anything, it boosts the game even further. Places around the world, they can afford to, you know, spend some extra money on decks that, you know, they only have one deck, now they can use two. But let's go back to the original point for 1 second. What is going to happen to these heroes? I think it's going to be a while before they all rotate, but I think it's going to be even longer before we get new heroes for them. And that's just by looking at Flesh and Blood's history. I want a new chain. I want to be able to use like Soul Shackles again and play. I just want more heroes. I don't know what you want. I just want more heroes. But what if I'm wrong? What if this is Legend Story Studios' plan all along? Thank you for watching the video, and I plan on having part 2 of this up by the end of next week. So please stay tuned for that, and don't forget to subscribe. Anyways, thank you.